Well, we've officially started packing and I need to take apart everything that you can see here. If I get this wrong, it could cost me an absolute fortune. So in today's vlog, I will be showing you what I have found the best possible way to dismantle IKEA furniture ready to be reused for the foreseeable future. All furniture will be flat packed, labelled with all of the nuts and bolts in little sealy bags to help me identify what goes where when I need to reassemble at my new home. So without further ado, let's get this Calyx unit completely emptied so it is ready to be dismantled and flat packed. Now, I have a funny feeling that this is actually going to be a little bit of a nightmare because I did this last year when we moved house then, and I dropped it on my foot. On to the next one. Ouch, Charlie. Look how heavy that was. So I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm wearing steel toe caps this time. And I'm hoping with all this DIY, I have put on a little bit of muscle and I can actually lift this thing by myself. Huh. That was actually quite easy. Now, whether you're building big cabinets like this or tiny Calyx units like that, it's highly likely that you've encountered this thing, an Allen key. And I don't like them. Mainly because it can take a lot of effort unwinding with these tiny little things and they're often falling out. Real pain in the bum to use. So I recommend you get one of these, a ratcheting hex key set. That way you can lower the torque on your drill so you're not damaging furniture, and one-handed with a key bit in the end, you can literally just take furniture apart and put it together incredibly fast. I'll have this taken apart in absolutely no time at all. And there you have it, a bag full of dowels and bolts to put this thing back together. Now, unless you're someone kind of odd like me who films things and puts it on the internet, I highly recommend using masking tape to label what each part is. That way, in the future, when you pull this thing back out to assemble it all, you'll know which part goes where. Now, fortunately for me, I could just watch back the footage, but for future reference, use masking tape. Don't use any other kind of tape because it will get on your furniture. Masking tape comes off really easy and that's why you want to use this. Right, before I tackle this thing, I want to give a quick shout out to Reolink, who's helping us secure everything whilst we move. Because when you live in the countryside like we do, keeping an eye on everything, especially cars, the kids when they're out playing, or even delivery spots becomes a real challenge. But that is where this steps in. Introducing the new Reolink Altus. It's a smart security camera that actually captures what happens before motion is detected, not just afterwards. Thanks to its pre-recording technology, it will actually capture up to 10 seconds before that event. So if you ever look on your camera and you get a notification that a delivery driver just been, but you see them walking away, now you can actually see them approaching your house, which means I'll never lose a parcel or miss a delivery. And yes, they do really hide it in the most bizarre spots. One absolutely huge advantage to my other camera is that it's battery powered. And not only that, but mine came with a solar panel. So I'm just completely off grid. And with only 1 hour of direct sunlight per day, I can keep my camera powered 24/7. So when I get these pesky power cuts, when I am literally in the middle of nowhere, I can still see what's going on, allowing me to leave home in peace. Now, I appreciate that not everyone is going to get a solar panel, but when fully charged, the camera stays on and can record to up to 14 days. So you don't really have to worry too much about constantly having to recharge it. But I highly recommend that you get the solar panel because that 1 hour for 24/7, it's a no-brainer. Now, as you guys know, I have been working with Reolink for quite a while now, and thanks to their cameras and their incredible ecosystem, we've been able to keep an eye on the kids when we might need to step away from the room. Like if Lily is sleeping in bed, we can always check on her, and thanks to the app on the phone, I can literally just open my phone, click on my camera, and I can instantly see anywhere around my house. And as amazing as it has been to have the floodlights on my camera outside, the Altus has 2K Color X night vision, which means it's basically daylight at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you want a proper set and forget system, make sure you scan the QR code that you can see on screen now or click the link in the description below to check out the Reolink Altus series of cameras. They're absolutely fantastic and I can't thank Reolink enough for sponsoring this segment of the video. All right, back to this beast of a wardrobe, which thanks to the Reolink camera that I have sat on top of there, you're able to watch some rather funny footage of the shelves falling on me. Ah yes, capturing all of the good times and the bad times. But I need to empty this as well as take off all the stuff on top there, and I have a lot of clothes. My plan is to reuse this old curtain pole I have and put it in the wardrobe space afterwards. That way, for the time being, I actually have a rail to hang up all of my clothes, because I don't really like folding clothes. When you dry them and you hang them up like that, you very rarely have to iron anything, so hopefully this will come in handy later on. But for the time being, all of my clothes need to come out of here and onto the bed for now. Beautiful stuff, completely empty, just a really nice selection of clothes in here. Do you look at that? Even a little spoiler for the future. Now, I am a little concerned about taking this apart, mainly because it's so heavy, but an important note with IKEA furniture is that when you take it apart, you risk the sturdiness and stability and structural integrity of the piece of furniture when you put it back together. Calyx unit, completely fine. But you can already see from where I've moved before and absolutely battered the surface of it and that, there is gaps that aren't the same size as they were when I first put it together. When you move furniture around, it obviously changes it. Now, most furniture like this, especially tall cabinets and cupboards, will get pinned to the wall anyway, so it doesn't actually matter too much. But it's worth keeping in mind if you are going to take apart your furniture, is that you might lose a bit of structural integrity when you do so. So keep that in mind. Now, for me, that doesn't matter too much, because a lot of the furniture that you actually see me flat packing today is going to go into storage, and I have no idea when I intend on rebuilding it. But this is just a much more affordable way of me moving everything. Which, to give some context as to what's going on if you're new around here, I am currently in the process of moving to my nan's old house. She is moving out into a bungalow, which is a better accommodation for herself, and she has given us the blessing to move into her house, which has got a massive garden. It's bigger than our current property. It's a 3-bedroom cottage in the woods with lots of room to play and explore. I intend on putting a workshop there. We've got the storage unit there already. We're going to be building an adventure park. There is so much to do and a lot of fun to be had in the future. So if you've not done so already, make sure you hit subscribe to stay notified when I post these videos. I probably will playlist everything associated with the cottage moving forwards, but give you a little bit of context as to why we're moving. It's just all very circumstantial. These things just happen, and we have jumped at the opportunity to move again after previously moving 3 times in the last 2 years. So this makes it up to a nice 4 times in 2 years. Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, the wardrobe is no more. I need to take this back out because it's in my way and see if I can fit that in there. Now, I have a good feeling that it fits pretty snug as it is. Yeah, there's only a very small gap at the end. So with that in mind, I'm going to put together a very basic wooden jig just to hold it in place. So I've got somewhere to put my clothes. Well, it's most definitely not my finest work, but makeshift rail for the time being will do the job. It goes without saying this is completely temporary and it's all just made out of scrap wood. But as I have no wardrobe, it should do nicely. That being said, because of how many clothes I have, it does bend ever slightly in the middle. I do need to pack a lot of this away in boxes, so it's never going to be under this much duress. Hopefully that doesn't snap in the meantime. I couldn't leave it alone. It was really bothering me, so I actually just added a post in the middle to hold it up. Good job. Time for a little bit of fresh air intermission as I put the packing and flat packing and unbuilding furniture. What's the word? Dismantling furniture. I don't know why I struggle with that. It is so hot in that room because I think it's like 26 degrees today. It's actually gorgeous outside. I'm stuck inside packing to move house, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on the bungalow, because between now and the next vlog, this is going to change. All this ivy is going, and a painter decorator is actually coming out to paint the entire house. Currently, it's got this rather undesirable like rendering on it, and the landlady did speak to me about potentially putting cladding on it. She was going to cedar clad it, which I just said was very, very expensive. It might be a little bit overkill, so I think she's opted for the cheaper option of just painting all of it. But this needs to come off because it's killing the house. That's wet because it was raining earlier. As is the same situation at the back of the house, because this is getting continuously worse. But man, she's really not holding back at upgrading this house. She's going to be putting new hedges in, sorting the garden out, getting rid of this really old oil tanker that's actually not allowed to be near the house anymore. It's against regulations. So she's going to get a new oil tanker and put it somewhere in the garden. I actually said to put it over there where we're going to put the allotment, because it's kind of tucked away. It's out of the way, tucked in a corner, and then when they come to top it up, it's actually quite easy. It's accessible rather than having it right there looking ugly on the house. So yeah, she's getting quite a lot done. Electrician's finishing off my work. Plumber's finishing off. Well, plumber's already been and done the stuff they need to do. She's going to have someone paint the house. The ivy's going to be going. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this place changes, because I've said like it's perfectly fine for her to do these things whilst I'm here. It's convenient for her, and we really don't mind. It's quite cool and interesting to see the kind of content that, you know, it's content for you guys, and I get to see what the house is going to look like before I move out. Also, to address some of the costs that I've put into here, after a few discussions, she's very kindly offered to reimburse me for a lot of the stuff that I've done to this house, albeit as I've done things that I like for, like, i.e. like the bathroom was already existing and I put a new one in, but she is kindly going to give me some money towards that. So all those people who were like, she's just taking you for a ride and blah 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 and all these kind of things, she's actually really lovely and she's been very nice about the whole situation. So I'm super grateful for that. So not only do I, you know, get some of my money back for what I put into this house, but it gets to live on for whoever moves into here afterwards, and my hard work doesn't go to complete waste. So it's a win-win all round. Anyways, break time is over. There is one left to do. And yes, it has become a little bit of a mess. It's not all my fault, but this cabinet of drawers, I think that's the right thing to say, these drawers need to be taken apart. However, I'm not going to dismantle every tiny little detail of this, kind of like I did with these. I'm pretty much going to take the drawers out and just take the tops and the sides and the bottom off, so I can flat pack it and then take the drawers separately, because this probably will go back up when we get there as somewhere to put clothes. So there's not really that much dismantling left to do, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is still the bed and some other bits and bobs. These will just fit in the car as is. And the bed, I don't really want to take it apart just yet, because we've still got a good like month or so before we move. So it's better than Benjamin sleeping on the floor, though I'm sure he'd probably enjoy that. Oh man, this is seriously piling up, and there's actually more stuff underneath there. I have considered getting a moving van early to move all of the boxes and save so many trips, but it's just so expensive, which is kind of why I want to flat pack all this stuff. I appreciate that not everyone wants to flat pack their furniture like this, but this is a money saving exercise, albeit in a lot of boxes. But when we get Jess's car back soon, we'll be able to start doing 2-car trips down to my nan's and start storing a lot of this stuff more efficiently. Because in my head I was like, oh, we'll just box it all and take it as we go. But when you've got 2 kids in a car and Jess and a very small boot, you can pretty much only fit 1 box per trip, which is not efficient in the slightest. So fingers crossed, when Jess gets her car back, get it insured, we can take all this stuff down a lot better. Anyways, drawers all emptied and clothes are in a box. Highly probable that they will not stay like that. They'll end up all over the floor. Well, one thing I could do is I could just lay out the drawers and keep things organized and just dismantle this instead. So that's an idea for now. But I need to take all these drawers out and see how this thing undoes. Looks to be pretty self-explanatory. These things come out, so the back panel comes out, and everything is just held together with those tiny little screws. As much as I like building my own furniture and making stuff myself, you have to admit, it really beats IKEA. It's incredibly efficient. Not to mention completely idiot-proof. But as you've seen me dismantling things quite a lot this vlog, let's work some magic and just get it gone. I can explain. I may have got a little carried away. I figured Benjamin probably would quite like the idea of his bed being on the floor. He could bounce on his bed without hurting himself, which happens quite frequently. And it's like a sleepover. There's lots of room to play in here. His toys are still out. I didn't want to pack his toys away, but I have now flat packed his bed, moved his furniture to one side of the room, and it is all basically ready to go. Going to take quite a lot of car trips to shift all of this. But all in all, I think that was a pretty successful day. Got a brand new spanking camera, thanks to Reolink again for sponsoring this video. If you want to get yours, links will be in the description below. But man, progress, we're getting somewhere with packing. It's still a good like 6 weeks away before we actually move, but I feel like it's good to be proactive about it and just get on top of it, because last time we moved here, oh my god, it was so stressful doing it all in a day. We actually like packed and moved all in the same day, and we had friends over to come and help, whereas this time I think we're going to be moving like midweek because it's just more affordable to hire a van for that thing. But big shout out to everyone who supports me over on Patreon and has copped yourself some merch. Appreciate you. It's available now. I still have not done a proper promotion for it. I'm really bad about that, but I'm sure people can understand that I've got so much going on. And to end this vlog, I'm actually going to leave you with something a little bit different. I know people enjoy watching the bloopers, but seeing as it's a beautiful day today and this camera does time lapses, how about we watch the sun go down? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, much love, bye-bye.